In today's video, we're answering the question, what is the cost of not hiring an attorney? In particular, a criminal lawyer. What is the cost of not hiring an attorney? So many people call our office and they'll ask us that question and they'll say, look, this is my first offense. I've never been in trouble before. What if I just don't hire a lawyer? What if I go into court and just simply plead guilty, or I try to represent myself? There are some situations where you can be charged with a crime, and if they're not asking for jail time, they will not appoint you a public defender. Otherwise, you're getting a lawyer. So we're talking about the people who are not assigned a public defender and have the option of hiring a private attorney or the option of representing themselves. This is a question that they have. What if I do not hire a lawyer? What are the potential consequences? Well, the biggest consequence, of course, is that you can end up with a criminal conviction. If you do not hire a lawyer, or if you just go in and plead guilty to a charge, you can be convicted of that crime. If you plead guilty, you will be convicted of that crime. If you represent yourself, there are other consequences, but sometimes people are not thinking about the full scope of what the range of potential ramifications may be, so we'll talk about what those are today. Number one, there are what are called collateral consequences. Okay, these are consequences that aren't directly a result of pleading guilty to a criminal charge. These are things that once the criminal charge is entered on your record, they will go and do other things. They will touch other areas of your life. Specifically things like your driver's license, your fingerprint clearance card, immigration consequences. These are what are called collateral consequences. So if you go to, say, a city court or a justice court and you plead guilty to a crime, you will now have a criminal conviction. That will be reported over to the Department of Public Safety and it will go on your criminal record. But it will also, let's say in a situation involving a DUI, that will also go over to the motor vehicle department. You will also have what's called SR22 insurance that could be assigned on your motor vehicle record. You can get an intoxilizer device. Those 8 points will follow you around. Your insurance rates will go up. You could have a license suspension for up to 1 year. Those are all collateral consequences. They follow you around and they trickle down. They stem and emanate out of the original criminal conviction. But many times people don't think about that. Similarly with fingerprint clearance cards, and similarly with immigration consequences. People on visas, people who are here on a work permit or have a green card who have a criminal conviction, that can trickle down and actually affect your immigration, whether it can very well be dispositive. You may not be able to continue forward with any of the immigration process because of the fact that you have a criminal conviction. The other thing that we see, unfortunately, is that many times judges and sometimes prosecutors will actually take advantage of people who do not have a lawyer. There have been many situations where an individual will be charged with a crime, they will go into court, their case is going to be extremely weak, but because of the fact that they can't afford a lawyer, they will not hire one, they'll go in on their own, their case is not eligible to have a public defender appointed for them, and they will see what they can get done on their own. The prosecutor will give them a plea deal even though knowing that their case is very weak, that the evidence is not strong, that they should be getting a good deal. They'll know that because they're unrepresented, they can get away with offering them basically a garbage plea deal. And I'm not kidding you. People will actually hire us. We will file our what's called a notice of appearance. The prosecutor will now see that we are representing them. Now, I don't know if this is the same situation for all defense attorneys, but they know our law firm, so they'll see that we're representing them. And suddenly the plea deal will change overnight without us doing much work because we just filed one motion or several motions, our notice of appearance, motion for discovery, and notice of our defenses. Those are kind of the standard motions you file on a beginning of a case. The prosecutor's office will see that. The next time we go to court, we'll have a much better plea deal because they know that a professional is now on the case, that we're going to be looking at the issues. We're going to be fully prepared to contest any of the problems that we find within the case. And suddenly, things get a lot better. So if you're not represented, you can be taken advantage of. Of course, there are other things like increased fines, increased jail, increased fees. Those are some consequences that can be seriously mitigated or eliminated when you bring in an attorney on board. So if you're going to be going to court without an attorney, of course, those are additional costs that you're going to incur. Not to mention jail time, right? So if you go into court and you're not represented, there are things that attorneys do to reduce the jail that you may be sentenced to mitigate the sentence from the court, to get you credit for time served so that you don't have to report back to jail. There's a lot that we can do, and if you don't have an attorney on your case, you may miss those opportunities. So of course, that is a cost of not hiring an attorney. The biggest one too that we see is really any future implications as a result of having that criminal conviction. So people will say, I don't want a criminal conviction. I want that off my record. How do I get rid of that? Yes, I understand from a moral perspective why you don't want that on your record, but we need to pinpoint why exactly you don't want that on your record. Why? What are going to be the consequences? Let's take it one step further. Yes, a criminal conviction is bad, but why is it bad? Well, usually it's because it's going to impact you in some way. It's going to impact your ability to get a new job or to get a promotion or to get a special license or to go apply for some position somewhere else where that's required. That is the actual consequence of a criminal conviction. So sometimes people will be a little bit short-sighted when we're going through this analysis. They'll say, I don't plan to do anything. I plan on working for myself. I don't ever plan on coming back to the United States. Whatever it may be, they're not thinking long-term. They're just thinking about the here and now, but they're not thinking 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road, and not understanding that this is going to follow them around for a very long period of time. So the reason we want to avoid the criminal conviction is because we want to mitigate and eliminate any future implications. What are we going to worry about 5, 10 years from now? If you don't address those quickly and early at the beginning of the case, that can be a major cost that you really can't undo. Once it's on your record, it's on your record. So these are just some of the costs that are associated with not hiring an attorney or a criminal defense lawyer. If you or somebody you know or love is facing criminal charges, if you're concerned about cost, if you're concerned about weighing your options, should I get a lawyer, should I not? What are the potential long-term penalties going to be? How could this impact my future or throw me off course a little bit? Give our office a call. We offer free case evaluations. We'll have you come in, we'll sit down, we will review the facts of your case, see if it makes sense for you to bring us on board as your legal counsel to help you get through this with the minimum amount of damage to you or your future. It's a free case evaluation. You literally have nothing to lose, so give us a call. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks for watching.